Have you ever looked past the flashy dunks and the final scores in the NBA and wondered what's really pulling the strings?
Yeah, like what's actually happening behind the curtain.
Exactly. These weird ownership changes that pop
Yeah.
up, or how does the league actually pick who gets the big spotlight, the next big superstar?
Or even how teams figure out what their players are worth, for trades and stuff. It's way more complicated than just who wins the game.
It really is.
Oh,
Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take all that stuff you're seeing, articles, insider notes, our own research, basically a mix of everything,
and all the sources.
and we boil it down. We try to find the really important bits, give you that shortcut to knowing what's really going on in the NBA. Maybe find some surprising things, have a little fun with it.
Get you properly informed without needing to read absolutely everything yourself.
Precisely. So today, we're going to dig into some pretty fascinating shifts happening right now. We're talking surprising moves in who owns teams.
Like in Boston, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And how the NBA uses its schedule to, promote its next wave of stars.
And even how teams value their own guys, like assets on a balance sheet almost.
Totally. So when we're done, you should have a much clearer sense of the real story beyond just the headlines. Okay, let's break this down.
What's fascinating here is just how connected it all is. These boardroom decisions, they directly impact how much money a team can spend.
Right, their whole plan.
Exactly. And then the TV schedule, that's all about building up certain players, certain
Yeah,
stories.
shaping the narrative.
And then you get down to the nitty-gritty of, how valuable is this player versus that player on the trade market. It all weaves together.
It really does. Understanding those chess moves
Yeah.
gives you a totally different way of looking at the season, right? You see the why behind it all.
Absolutely. It changes your perspective.
And speaking of those big moves, it feels like we're seeing some real shifts, especially around NBA ownership. Let's start with that Boston Celtics situation you mentioned. That's a pretty big deal that maybe flew under the radar for some folks.
Oh, absolutely. This isn't just some minor title change. It points to some deeper things happening with league finances and rules.
So what's the headline news there?
The big news is White Grousbeck. The guy everyone sees, the face of the Celtics ownership, holding the trophies.
Right, the main voice for years.
Yeah. He's actually no longer the official team governor. That key role, the one who represents the team to the league, that's now Bill Chisholm.
Okay, so Grousbeck isn't totally gone, though.
No, he's still involved. He's now the alternate governor, and he's staying on as CEO, but the governor role is Chisholm's.
Okay, that's the bit that makes you go, right. Grousbeck is the Celtics in many fans' minds. Why the switch now? I heard the original plan was for him to stay governor till, 2028.
That's what the reporting suggested, yeah. But it really boils down to league rules. Kind of simple, but also crucial.
What rule is that?
The designated team governor must hold the majority ownership stake. And the thing is, Grousbeck, well, he doesn't own enough of the team to officially be the governor under that rule. Chisholm does.
Ah, okay. So it's almost like the setup they had before was a little bit, I don't know, off the books or something. Assuming Grousbeck would just stay the face, even though Chisholm had the bigger piece.
It sort of suggests that, yeah. Or at least the reality of the ownership structure finally caught up with the official roles. And this naturally leads into the money side of things.
Right, the financing. Which seems like it wasn't straightforward.
Well, that's where the speculation comes in, especially now with how tight money is getting in the NBA. There are reports the deal for Chisholm's group to take that majority stake was delayed.
Delayed how?
It apparently missed the big Board of Governors meeting in Vegas during Summer League. That's a key meeting.
Okay, that's not ideal.
No. And it really stands out when you remember Steve Pagliuca made a bid earlier.
Right, I remember that.
And Pagliuca said his bid was fully funded, ready to close, but it got rejected. So you look at that, and then you see the Chisholm deal maybe needing more time. It makes you wonder,
Yeah, why pass on the ready-to-go bid for one that maybe needed some more financial juggling?
Exactly. Especially when you're talking about buying into a team worth billions. It's just a different picture than, say, Steve Ballmer with the Clippers.
Oh, totally different world. Ballmer wants a new stadium. He basically just finds the cash.
Yeah.
Writes a check.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Whereas Chisholm's group seems to have pulled money from, various places, venture capital, maybe funds that even have stakes in other teams.
Which isn't necessarily bad, but it's not that one super rich person calling all the shots.
Right. It's a different kind of financial structure.
Cool.
And that brings us to the fan perspective. What does this actually mean for the Celtics on the court? Or at least their ability to spend?
Especially with these crazy new second apron luxury tax rules the league brought in. Those things are brutal.
They are. It's not just paying more tax anymore. If you go deep into that second apron, you lose access to key team building tools like the mid-level exception. You can't aggregate salaries and trades easily. You can't trade future picks. It's designed to really, really hurt big spenders.
So did the Celtics' recent moves, like, trading away some guys, was that tied to Chisholm coming in?
Probably not directly. Those moves were almost certainly driven by trying to avoid the worst penalties of that second apron, plus Tatum's injury situation played a big part. But the timing,
Yeah, the timing looks fishy. Is that the word?
it creates that perception for fans,
Yeah.
absolutely. You see the ownership change, you see cost-cutting moves, it's natural to connect them and worry if the new structure means they'll be less willing to spend big down the line.
It taps into that bigger NBA trend, right?
Yeah.
More complex ownership groups. Maybe more focus on the team as a long-term investment rather than just spending whatever it takes to win right now.
Precisely. It's a tension we're seeing more and more. Will these groups prioritize financial stability over pushing all the chips in for a title? We'll have to watch Boston closely.
Definitely something to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Okay, so from the money side, let's pivot to how the league itself kind of signals its priorities, using the schedule, right?
Yeah.
Who gets those big TV games?
Oh, yeah. The schedule reveal is like the league laying its cards on the table. It tells you exactly who they think the big draws are and who they want the big draws to be.
So those first announcements, opening night, Christmas Day, MLK Day, those are the crown jewels.
Absolutely. They're not random picks. Look at opening night, October 21st. Rockets versus Thunder, then Lakers versus Warriors. Christmas, you've got Cavs, Knicks, Spurs, Pistons. Oh, wait, Spurs versus Thunder.
Spurs versus Thunder,
Yeah.
then Mavs, Warriors, Rockets, Lakers, T-Wolves, Nuggets.
Right. And MLK Day has Bucks, Hawks, Thunder, Cavs, Mavs, Knicks, and Celtics, Pistons. Every single one of those is a statement.
And when you look at who's getting multiple spotlights, it's pretty clear who the league is betting on, isn't it?
Undeniably, the teams showing up 3 times in those big slots. OKC with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
XGA, yeah. Huge year last year.
Dallas with Cooper Flagg coming in. Tons of hype there.
That's a fight.
And Golden State, of course. Steph still moves the needle.
Always. And then Lakers, Spurs, Denver get 2 games each.
So what does that tell you? It's a major push for the young guns, especially guys like Flagg and the established younger stars like SGA. They're clearly trying to build up the next generation.
Yeah, it's not just relying on LeBron and Steph anymore, even though they obviously still draw huge ratings. It's about who carries the league next.
It's a strategic investment in future marketability. And then look at the East. It's basically just the Cavs and the Knicks getting those consistent marquee spots.
Right. Even the Pacers, who just made the conference finals, only get one must-do game. What gives there?
It's as the league values established markets and maybe current star power over recent playoff success, at least for those prime slots. They're going with what they see as the guaranteed eyeballs.
Which brings us back to the Celtics again. Only one marquee game, MLK Day, against the Pistons. That feels low for Boston, doesn't it?
It does. The official line, according to sources, is basically, while their stars are hurt, they might not be great early on.
But come on, it's the Celtics. They have a massive global fan base. Are they really not primetime worthy because of early season question marks?
That's the question, isn't it? I tend to think it's less about punishing the Celtics and more about the league knowing the Celtics fans will watch anyway.
So they can use those prime slots to build up other teams, other narratives.
Exactly. And that Celtics-Pistons matchup itself feels strategic, with Philly looking shaky.
Yeah, we'll get to them.
The league needs new rivalries in the East. Maybe they see Pistons-Celtics as a potential future one, pitting Detroit's young talent against the established power. It's about planting seeds.
Creating new storylines.
Yeah.
And the whole way they release the schedule. It's like a week-long event now.
Oh, yeah. Drip, drip, drip.
Yeah.
Opening night, then Christmas, then MLK, then the in-season tournament groups, then finally the whole thing.
It feels kind of stretched out, like layers and layers just to get the full picture.
But it works, right? It generates headlines every single day for a week, keeps the NBA in the conversation. It's pure marketing.
Clever. Got to give them that. Okay, fascinating stuff on the league level. But often, the real make-or-break stuff happens with individual players, right? Especially young guys. Let's talk player development.
Yeah, this is where you see teams' philosophies really play out, and the Lakers offer a perfect contrast right now with their 2 big rookies, Dalton Knecht and Bronny James.
Okay, start with Knecht, first-round pick. What's the story there? Sounds like there's some concerns.
There are, yeah. Documented concerns about his basketball IQ, his ability to make the right reads, offensively and defensively at NBA speed.
And Summer League didn't help.
Apparently it was alarming, according to some reports. Looked like he hadn't really improved much from his first showing to his second, which you don't want to see.
It's interesting because he's older, right? 24. You'd think he'd be more polished.
That's the finished product idea. But his college path was weird. He kept transferring up levels. So maybe he actually has more room to grow than a typical 24-year-old rookie.
Okay. But his role with the Lakers is different, too.
Totally different. Way less on ball than in college. He's playing off LeBron and AD. That's a huge adjustment.
And did the Lakers even work him out beforehand?
Reports say they mostly evaluated him off tape, no private workout, which means maybe they missed some things about how he processes the game live.
Okay, so you've got a guy needing to adjust, maybe needing reps, but he's on the Lakers. They're trying to win now.
Exactly. That's the killer context. The West is brutal. The Lakers can't just let him play through tons of mistakes like a rebuilding team could. His leash is way shorter.
So what do? Does he need G-League time, like Bronny? To get those reps, make mistakes away from the spotlight.
That's the big question. It seems like maybe the fairest thing for his development, right? Give him that space. Because the contrast with Bronny is just night and day.
Okay, so tell us about Bronny's path. He was the 55th pick, 19 years old, totally different situation.
Completely different. The Lakers have a super specific, tailored plan for him in the G League.
Like what?
Get him on the ball. Make him run the point. Let him make mistakes, learn the reads, as long as he defends his butt off. That's the deal.
And his coach is really drilling him.
Yeah, Zach Guthrie, his G League coach, they run the same sets over and over until Bronny masters the reads. It's very structured, very focused on fundamental point guard skills in a lower pressure environment.
It's working.
Seems like it. The reports were really positive about his summer league this year. Tangible improvement, looked comfortable, decisive, way better than you'd expect for pick #55.
Wow, so much so that he might actually play for the main team this year.
Nate McMillan, the assistant coach, actually mentioned that possibility, said Bronny could possibly get some minutes.
For the Lakers.
Yeah.
As a rookie 55th pick.
Yeah. His energy, his defense, his athleticism. They might see him as a viable 10th man, bringing that spark off the bench, especially defensively.
That's incredible. So Bronny gets this protected G League space to learn and grow, while Knecht is kind of thrown into the fire with the NBA team.
Exactly. It just highlights how crucial the environment is for development. It's not just about talent. It's about the plan, the patience, the context. Sometimes the G League path is absolutely the right one.
Fascinating contrast. Okay, so while the Lakers are carefully managing their rookies, there's another team getting maybe less favorable signals from the league, the Philadelphia 76ers.
Oof. Yeah, Philly's in a tough spot right now, and the league schedule really hammered that home.
How so?
Just look at those marquee games we talked about. Christmas? Nope. MLK Day? Nope. Opening week primetime? Nope. They are completely absent.
Wow. That's stark. What's the message there?
The message seems pretty blunt. We can't rely on you.
Why not? Embiid's a superstar. Maxey's an all-star.
Injuries. Plain and simple. Joel Embiid's injury history is extensive, and he just said publicly he's not rushing back. Then you add Paul George, who they signed, and his own history of off-season health issues.
Right. So the league looks at that and thinks, too risky for our biggest TV slots.
Seems that way. They can't bank on Philly's stars actually being available for those showcase games.
Yep.
And while Tyrese Maxey is fantastic,
He is a great player.
the league clearly doesn't see him on his own as enough to carry that marquee weight just yet.
So does this mean the Sixers' championship window is just slammed shut? Or at least paused?
That's the million-dollar question. Their betting over-under win total is way down, like 41.5 wins. NBA.com has them ranked 7th in the East. Expectations are low.
Really low. It suggests the league, the odds makers, everyone thinks their time, for now, has passed.
For this season, it certainly looks that way. The focus might need to shift. Maxey's obviously a huge piece for the future.
Sure. A building block.
But they're going to need a serious influx of major talent down the road, probably after this current Embiid window definitively closes.
So if you're a Sixers fan, and this season looks kind of bleak for contention,
Yeah.
who do you watch? Who gives you hope for that future?
There are definitely guys to keep an eye on. VJ Edgecombe, the 3rd overall pick, showed some really nice flashes in Summer League.
Yeah, what kind of flashes?
Athleticism, scoring potential. If he develops offensively, maybe makes a jump like a Jared McCain did last year for them.
McCain really came on strong after a slow start, didn't he?
He absolutely did. Became a key guy. If Edgecombe does something similar, he could be in the Rookie of the Year conversation. That would be huge for morale.
Okay, who else?
Quentin Grimes, His contract situation is interesting. He's playing for a new deal. If Embiid and PG miss time, Grimes could get a bigger role, put up numbers.
Bet on himself and maybe cash in next summer.
Could happen. And don't sleep on a demon Bana.
The center.
Yeah. Showed real promise late last season. Athletic, blocks shots, quick feet, averaged like 15 and 8 in April.
Okay, granted, that was April, maybe against weaker teams.
True. Context matters. But it was a positive sign. Something to build on. These are the guys Sixers fans need to watch develop this year. It's about the future now.
Gotcha. So looking at the East overall, it sounds like the consensus is Knicks, Cavs, they're the top tier.
That's how it looks, yeah. They're seen as the cream of the crop. And then maybe Orlando, maybe Atlanta, battling it out for that next spot, trying to push into contention. A very different picture than Philly right now.
Definitely. Okay, let's shift from team outlooks to how teams value their own players.
Yeah.
Like as trade assets. The Knicks are a good example here, right? They don't have a ton of picks to trade.
Right. Their main assets are their players. They have that one Wizards pick, but it's heavily protected. So when they think trades, they're thinking about which players have value.
So who's number one on their list? Got a Brunson.
Oh, absolutely. Jalen Brunson, no question. He's their number one asset far and away.
And the whole league wants him.
Pretty much universally desired. If he ever somehow became available, teams would be lining up offering huge packages. Exorbitant offers, as one source put it.
Who wouldn't want him?
Maybe OKC, because they have SGA. Maybe Cleveland, just because of the guard fit with Mitchell and Garland. But almost everyone else, they'd be all in. Elite player on a good contract. Gold.
Okay, so Brunson's untouchable at number one. Now, this is where it gets really juicy, according to the sources. The debate over number 2 and 3. Karl Anthony Towns versus OG Anunoby.
Yes. This is fascinating because it's not just about raw talent. It's about fit, contracts, and what the league values right now under this new CBA. It tells you a lot about team building strategy.
Okay, make the case for KT at number 2.
All right, so for Towns, first, he's really rehabbed his image, right? Been a key guy on 2 straight conference finals teams, Minnesota and now New York. Proves he can be part of winning.
Okay, fair point. He shed that good stats, bad team label.
Exactly. Second, he's still a former number 1 option offensively. Some teams might look at him and think, we can build our offense around that guy, especially if they have defense elsewhere.
Like a focal point.
Could be. And third, and this is kind of counterintuitive, his huge contract, like $55 million.
Yeah, massive number.
In this new cap world, that could actually be useful for matching salary in a blockbuster trade for another superstar, maybe like Giannis, if he ever became available. It makes those huge one-for-one deals possible.
Huh. Didn't think of it that way. Okay, so that's the case for KT. Now, what about OG Anunoby? Why would he be ranked higher by some?
OG's case is all about universal fit and contract value. He's called the quintessential 16-game player.
Meaning he's built for the playoffs.
Exactly. Elite defense, can guard multiple positions, reliable shooter. Literally every team in the league, especially contenders, could plug him in and be better. He fits everywhere.
And his contract is more reasonable.
Much more reasonable, around $40 million. That makes him easier to trade for in more scenarios, and it's seen as really fair value for what he brings. He's highly desirable.
Did his value dip at all last season? There were crazy rumors before, like him being worth 5 first-round picks.
Yeah, maybe it dipped slightly from that absolute peak hype. He's probably not commanding 5 firsts anymore, especially after the injury stuff. But he's still viewed as a great defender, an Iron Man type when healthy. The appeal is massive.
So this debate really shows the shift, right? Teams may be prioritizing that guaranteed two-way impact on a good contract, OG, over the elite offensive upside, but bigger contract risk. KT.
I think that's exactly what it reflects. Versatility, defense, and contract efficiency are becoming incredibly valuable in this tighter cap environment.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, who's number 4 on the Knicks asset list?
That would be Mikal Bridges, still very highly valued. He's another great defender, another Iron Man who just doesn't miss games. That availability is huge.
But his stock took a hit last year.
A little bit, yeah. His offensive game didn't shine as much when he had to be the number 1 guy on a struggling team. So maybe teams aren't offering that absolute treasure trove of 3-4 first-round picks anymore.
Right, the price might have come down.
But still, a very, very valuable player that lots of teams would want.
Okay, then another close one. Number 5 and 6. Mitchell Robinson versus Josh Hart.
Yeah, another really interesting comparison of different player types. Robinson's value shot way up after he came back from injury last season.
He looked great in the playoffs, yeah.
Oh,
Especially
yeah.
against Boston and Indiana.
Totally. showed impactful minutes. He's that strong, versatile center who can genuinely guard all 5 positions when he's locked in. That's rare.
But the injury history is still a concern.
Always a concern with him. But for a contending team needing a center, think Lakers, Warriors, maybe Memphis, Phoenix, they'd likely cough up a protected first-round pick for him, betting on the upside when he's healthy.
Okay, so what about Hart? His value seems tied to different things.
Hart is all about the intangibles. The playoff-ready skill set, the energy, the rebounding, the hustle plays. Some people think he could fetch a first and a protected first in a trade.
Really? That much?
He offers so much as that 6th or 7th man. He can almost get you a triple-double off the bench some nights with his rebounding and passing.
But the shooting can be shaky. Wait a second.
That's the clear deficiency, yeah. His three-point shot comes and goes. That limits him sometimes and might make some teams pause at a super high price. It's impact versus maybe more traditional skills.
Gotcha. Number 7.
Deuce McBride. Tons of upside there. Could be a starter, could be a high-level backup guard.
Known for defense.
Tenacious defense, yeah. And his three-point shot keeps getting better. He's just a solid plug-and-play guy for any contender. Plus, he's on a great, affordable contract.
So maybe not a huge trade return on his own, but valuable in a bigger deal.
Exactly. He could be that key finishing piece that makes a big trade work. Even if his individual market value isn't flashy, his actual impact is high.
All right, number 8.
Krishanya Busel. Remember him?
The Dancing Bear. Yeah, he's back.
He's back, and apparently much improved after playing overseas, seen as a really good role player, like a 7th, 8th man type.
And he's cheap.
Super cheap, $6 million contract, like 3.5% of the cap. He was just named captain of Team France, too.
Wow, so he might actually have trade value.
Yeah, could definitely generate interest, maybe even get a stray first-round pick at the deadline if a contender needs forward depth. Good value, fine by the Knicks.
Okay, rounding it out, what about the rest of the bench and that Wizards pick?
Well, Dyer showed some good stuff in Summer League. If that translates, he could move up. The Wizards pick, it's protected 1 to 8, otherwise it becomes 2 seconds.
So it's a long shot to be a first.
Probably unlikely, but the possibility makes it marketable on paper. Teams always gamble on potential.
And Jordan Clarkson, signed for the minimum.
Yeah, everyone expects him to outperform that deal. His value kind of cratered before because people thought he was overpaid, but he could definitely bounce back as a bench scorer.
Anyone else notable? Huffnagel, Kolek,
Ideal.
Ariel Hookporty, yeah. Seen as a solid long-term backup center, maybe even a low-end starter eventually. Good value on his deal. Tyler Kolek, good passer, but maybe defensive and scoring questions at the NBA level based on Summer League. Mohamed Guy, the other late pick, showed flashes, but needs time. It's a deep dive into how one team views its whole roster hierarchy. It really is. Okay, so we've covered a lot today. We zoomed in on that whole strategic chessboard, the Boston ownership stuff, how the league uses the schedule to signal who's next.
The different paths for the Lakers rookies, the tough situation in Philly.
Right, and how a team like the Knicks breaks down player value. Hopefully you listening have a different lens now, a way to see beyond just the final score.
Yeah, these deep dives really show all the layers, right? The money, the development plans, the league's marketing strategy. It all shapes what happens on the court.
Absolutely. So thinking about the season coming up, what do you think the biggest surprise will be? An unexpected team making noise, some player having a breakout nobody predicted.
Or maybe one of these ownership things really impacting a team's performance. Lots to think about.
Definitely keeps it interesting. Like and subscribe for more.